My boyfriend says I'm financially irresponsible, but makes me pay for everything.
Yeah, be responsible. Pay for me.
I, 29 female, have been with my boyfriend, 27 male, for 1.5 years, and we're discussing finances and living together. I'm not the most financially literate, but I don't think I overspend or live beyond my means. I live with my family who don't charge rent, though I help with groceries and other things. I've been trying to build my savings, hoping to buy a house soon. I've never been in debt, and my credit card score is decent. By the way, this comes from Princess Archer on the r/OKstorytime subreddit. So when we first met, I was more carefree with spending, vacations, shopping, meals out. I was still saving, but in smaller amounts. My boyfriend pointed out early on that I spent too much, but as we became more serious, I cut back. Now I rarely go out and primarily spend money on dates. Wait, so your boyfriend's like, hey, don't do stuff for you, do stuff for me. Then it's great spending. If you do stuff for you, bad.
Bad. Terrible.
Stuff for me, good.
Babe, this PS5 is going to fix our relationship. That's all I'm saying.
It's called investing in the relationship. It will have returns in at least 2 smooches from yours truly. So I do brunch with the girls once every half month. Otherwise, friends' social time is done on walks or at houses. Despite this, I've had some setbacks like car repairs needed for my commute, which have made saving harder. So she's gone from spending like vacation money and all that to just brunch with friend every half month. My boyfriend still says I don't save properly and brings up my vacations as evidence. I'm not serious about saving for a house. What are you contributing?
Yeah.
Boyfriend?
Buddy.
What bread you bringing? Or you just toasting bread? You just burning bread?
He just wants her buns.
He just wants those buns toasty. Spread his little jelly on it.
Disgusting.
Nuh-uh. You got to pay for that.
No gooning.
No gooning. No gooning here. We edge here, which is what I'm doing right now. We discussed buying a house earlier this year, and I decided to start saving seriously. But I had a few vacations planned. One was a cheap trip, came to less than $1,000 total, which I booked with my best friend whilst my boyfriend and I were broken up. Whilst a little break vacation.
That's new information.
What was happening on this break?
Whoa. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. Also, what is the gender of this friend? Not saying anything is going to happen, but
sounds like you are.
But it could. Really quick, like before we keep going, I am not confident in this relationship so far.
I have a lot of confidence that this is a terrible relationship.
Oh, there we go. Dude, you got me in the first half.
Got me.
So even after we got back together, I went on it as I knew I'd not be going on any more friend trips for the foreseeable future. Oh, you love a relationship where you're just gonna get pinned down, and not in the sexy way. You're just gonna be caged, not in the sexy way. Handcuffed, not in the sexy way, to your partner, and not allowed to do anything. Not in the sexy way. The second was with the boyfriend, an expensive trip he wanted to go on, and I ultimately chose to join him on. We split flights and hotels 50-50, and whilst on the trip, he covered the majority of the big spends. Okay, maybe he's stepping up to the plate, spending that bread. I took out of my savings for this trip, but as our first together, I decided it was worth it. It was indeed a once-in-a-lifetime trip. The third is a family vacation for my milestone birthday. What's that milestone? I guess 30.
It's like 9/24/24. I'm turning 24.
What?
So on like February 24th of 2024, I turned 24. That's like
that's a milestone birthday.
Yeah, where it matches with your age or whatever. I believe.
I had that. I was born on September. Last year was September.
Which my family will be covering my costs for as a gift. And all I need to bring is spending money for when we're there. That's great. That sounds awesome.
Yes.
Hopefully the boyfriend doesn't ruin it. Well, guess what? He says I could give up the family trip, but I say it's a gift for my birthday. Well, he offered to treat me to a birthday weekend instead and do the family vacation next year. But to me, it's no longer a birthday trip anymore. I already turned down another family vacation this year. So he's like, stop hanging out with your friends. Stop hanging out with your family.
Stop spending your own money.
Yeah. This doesn't sound controlling at all.
No,
this
not
doesn't
at all.
sound like he's trying to manipulate you into him being your only lifeline of emotional support. Not at all.
Zero.
This is not manipulation.
He's so perfect. What could go wrong?
Oh, is it Wednesday? It's opposite day. All the things I just said were reverse. It is manipulation.
Fool!
What's getting to me is that he owes me small amounts of money for things that he then tells me later he won't pay for with logical reasons. Let's hear some of these logical reasons, John. And for each reason, you tell me, logical or illogical?
Let's do it.
1. My birthday meal, $40. He forgot his wallet in the car, so I paid. He said he'd pay me back in front of the waitress, but later said he wouldn't, as he paid for the birthday activity, and I was the one who said I wanted dinner too, so dinner was on me for my own birthday. All right, John, logical or illogical?
This is quadruple illogical because he said he would pay for it, and he's the reason why she's paying for it.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
I went on a date in New York. It was a great date. This is just a minor thing. And she conveniently forgot her card. And she's like, oh, I would have paid, but I conveniently forgot my card. Come on. Come on. I see through it.
See, now your profile is so large.
Profile's so large
That people are like, hey,
he's got, he can pay for it.
podcast host?
Podcast hosts.
You take that.
We all know they make the most money.
Oh, yeah.
More than the finance bros.
Yeah, of course.
Ringing me out for every cent. Anyway, 2, illogical or logical, John. My ring, $50. On our vacation, he really wanted to treat me to a precious gem ring. The amount might seem small, but it's money I would never spend on myself for jewelry. I only agreed as he said it was a gift to me. When it came time to pay, his card didn't work. So I used mine. Classic trick.
Patterns.
Classic trick. Oh, you need money on your card for this? I had no idea.
Wait a second. Are you supposed to put money in a bank account?
How could you expect me to do that? I'm just a baby. I'm just a little baby. Take care of me. Mommy. He said he'd pay me back. John, do you think he's going to pay him back?
No.
When I mentioned this later, he said he paid for some really expensive trips. The time of booking them, I offered to pay for half on them as they were pricey, even though above my budget, a once-in-a-lifetime experience. He turned me down, saying he wanted to treat me. He later said if I insist on being paid back for the ring, he wants half for what he spent on the trips, a way more significant amount.
Hey, instead of, if you want me to pay for this $50 ring, then send me back $1,000 for the trip.
Come on. That I got for you, for us, for your birthday. But everyone knows I am going to keep track of every dollar spent so we can be even.
This man is giving me a migraine.
I know.
Oh my God. Just reading the story, living with him.
I mean, I'm still going to read this, but is anyone at all in chat being like, stay with this dude?
Literally.
It doesn't seem like either of them have chicken money.
No.
But they're spending like they got chicken money, or he's spending like he has chicken money.
Yes.
And then expecting OP to give the chicken money that she doesn't have.
And then being mad at her that she's not saving well.
Yeah, exactly.
He's the one spending her money.
And also forcing her to spend more, and he's basically like lulling her into safety, saying, "Oh, don't worry, babe, I'm gonna pay for it." And she's like, "Okay, if he's gonna pay for it, then I guess I could go on this trip." Psych. Rug pulled. Bam.
That's the wrong number.
3, concert tickets, about $65. I bought them as a surprise for a date night, but he said he wouldn't enjoy them himself, so his mom offered to buy them off me. She said she'd pay me back. Let's see if the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. But I said she could give it to him, and he will. He never did. Oh, so the mom did give it to OP's boyfriend, and OP's boyfriend did not give it to OP. Anyway, he never did, first saying later, and then later when ages had passed, citing all the money he had spent on dates, food, etc. for me, and saying all that costs way more than those tickets. And then finally, number 4, only about $25. I was going to buy about $5 worth of ingredients to cook dinner, but he said to get takeout and he'll pay me back. He still hasn't. And when I brought it up, he said he pays for most of the food anyway. He bought us both food 2 times, and that costs more than the food I got, so it balances out. Then don't say you're going to pay for it. He also insists on a 50-50 split of future expenses, though he earns double what I do. He says he won't do a proportional split because of trust issues from a past relationship. He did a proportional split with her, and she cheated on him, and he hates how he wasted so much on her that he could have saved. I say he can't assume I will do the same, but he says he can, and he's learned his lesson.
Oh, God.
Not only is he going 50-50, but he's also going and saying, you're going to cheat on me. But I still want to stay together, but I know you're going to cheat on me.
Babe, we'll split 50-50, but I'll project 100% onto you. There's your 100%.
Dude, this guy hurts.
Sucks.
He sucks. He needs therapy. He needs love.
He needs a job.
He needs a freaking job that pays more than what it's paying.
He needs to love making money.
Yeah. So lately he said he no longer wants to spend money on me, claiming I don't do the same for him, even though I spend most of my disposable income on us. For example, I suggested a date recently, but he turned it down as it would be expensive.
They should really trim their budget down, I think. Really just kind of like rip out a bunch of
And let me say,
unnecessary stuff.
when it grows back in, it's so bad.
Yeah.
It's so bad. He suggested I find something else. I found an aquarium, which is way cheaper than the original suggestion. First, he said, okay. Then, after an argument about finances, said I could buy my own ticket. I can't afford to, not due to lack of money, but just careful budgeting because OP's trying to get better at all of her stuff. And said, in that case, we go another time when it was within my budget. He just got upset, saying I'm using him to have fun experiences. That is laughably untrue, as I'd been saving way more if I was single, as I wouldn't be paying for food or dates or fuel to go see him. Sure, it's nice to be treated to fun dates and fancy meals, but if I want to do those things, I can do it with friends. Way less often, for sure, due to my smaller budget, but not never. I feel like he's manipulating me financially.
Got him.
On the nose, baby girl. I acknowledge I've spent on vacations and don't have his financial experience. He's wealthier and has lived on his own since 18 and now temporarily is back home but paying rent. I mean, how wealthy could he be? When you say wealthy, I mean, how wealthy could he be if he's saying he's going to pay for stuff and not? When I was away at college and I don't pay rent. He also comments on this, by the way, saying I should just pay rent out of respect. But I ignore this as we just have different family dynamics. My family would never allow me to pay rent. My dad sneaks $50 into my account sometimes if he thinks I've spent too much on groceries for us. However, I feel like I'm doing the best to save while still enjoying life within reason. So, am I being unresponsible or is he being manipulative? Reddit advice, please. There is a little bit more to this story, but you can join us live every weekday on YouTube, 3 p.m. PST. Just tap our profile. But before we finish out this story, John, do you think OP is being unreasonable?
Listen, there's a lot of people out there who let all of these miscellaneous expenses grow when they don't need to be there, right? We need to rip all those out. Well, guess what? OP has already ripped out all of the extraneous expenses, right? This is a clean, smooth, shiny budget. Okay, OP has only paid $1,000 for this big vacation. That is very smart. $50 for the ring. That is very smart. OP is on top of it. She has completely ripped out all of the unnecessary expenses. Now it's time to eat out at home because she's already budgeted really well and he's controlling her and being manipulative. And that's all I need to say.
John, couldn't have put it better myself.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
We'll get back to the story, but something funny happened this weekend. So I was playing basketball with a bunch of these old guys.
Right.
And the other team was a bunch of younger dudes, 25 and plus.
Okay.
And I was with these older guys and they were running, and dude, these young guys were literally running circles around the old guys. And while they were playing, this one guy on my team, the old team, popped his knee and had to leave. It was really bad.
What did it look like?
I didn't look. I didn't want to look. I just saw him hobble off, and then I just played the rest of the game.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and he was like, where do I go? And I didn't know what to say.
Bro sounds like me. What's going on?
There's only one place that you send someone who's hobbling off the court, and that's ZocDoc.
ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare highly rated in-network doctors near you.
And instantly book appointments with them online.
And y'all, all of these docs have verified reviews from actual, real patients.
We're talking about booking appointments with tens of thousands of top-rated, patient-reviewed, credible doctors and specialists.
And you can filter the ones that take your insurance.
And treat basically any condition you're searching for.
Wow. The typical wait time to see a doctor booked on ZocDoc is just between 24 and 72 hours.
Sometimes even in the same day.
Y'all, I use ZocDoc. We use ZocDoc. You should use ZocDoc too.
Go to ZocDoc.com/OKOP and download the ZocDoc app for free. Then find and book a top-rated doctor today.
That is ZocDoc.com/OKOP, ZocDoc.com/OKOP. Let's get back to the episode.
In the matter of fairness, his trust issues due to his ex also extend to me, as I lied about and hid some pretty big things from him, not money related. We broke up as he was understandably devastated by them, but have since got back together as love and friendship is there, provided I work hard to prove I'm a changed person. I think this explains his mindset a lot too, so it's only fair to include I've definitely made his trust issues worse, and I'm far from a perfect victim or anything like that. What did you do? I want to know.
Yeah, that kind of just spoiled the whole...
Now it's like, I don't know know what to believe.
Yeah.
And they deleted their account.
Oh my God.
We were really thrown for a loop.
We were thrown for a loop.
End.
Wow. Wait.
Some would say a tight circle.
A clean, tight circle.
Clean, tight circle. I mean, it's anything but clean.
Yeah,
I
this is
feel
dirty
like
now.
that dirtied
Filthy.
it up. That dirtied it up. It's like you only do one rip and then give up after.
Exactly.
You know?
This
Who would
makes
do
so
that?
much sense now.
Well, how does it make sense? I have trimmed.
He has trimmed.
Yeah, I did. I think it was appreciated in New York.
Tell us what happened in New York. Give us one.
Yeah,
Give
hit
us a
us
story.
with one okay story time.
Okay, first, New York dating compared to LA is a completely different ballgame.
And how so?
There are so many people in New York. The density of New York is unrivaled.
Yeah.
So like, you know, in LA when I'm here, I maybe get like 1 or 2 matches a day, right? In New York, it was like 10 a day. And everyone was willing to meet. And apparently there are more women than men in New York.
I've heard that too.
And also, I think the women there are just like more direct and like, this is what I want. And like, come over here. And like, they're making their own money and they're not like really, like, they're like powerful women.
Yeah.
That will just
take some hot wax and
Hot
just
wax.
slather it all.
slap it around and just rip your heart out. And so I had fun in New York. And I went on a date and I got reverse catfished. She was so much cuter in person than her photos.
Interesting move.
And she kind of like had those like runway model looks where, you know, like how runway models like beautiful but kind of scary sometimes.
Yeah, 1,000%. Yes, I know exactly what
She
you're talking
kind
about.
of looks like that.
You're like dressed in like a demon trash bag,
Yeah.
and you're like,
Like she was so cute.
when you're dressed like a human and like whatever, it's like, oh, you're beautiful, but they've turned you into a monster.
Yeah, but like she's like a monster that I would gladly let rip any
Rip
part of
some
my
hairs.
body. But we had a lovely date, and I think New York just makes like for amazing dates because we went to this one like really cool bar called the Portrait Bar. It was really swanky. I had to get reservations before. She came in looking really cute, and she kind of had this like hot New York girl like uninterested vibe initially, and I'm just like my like goofy golden retriever self.
Yeah.
And she was like I would say a dad joke, and she's like, "Ha, that's funny," like really aggressively.
Come on. Yeah.
And then like midway through, she's like, "All right, that's funny." And then like a third time, she kind of laughed. And I'm like, my goofiness is winning her over.
We're breaking
Dude,
her.
we're breaking her. And like after that, we just started walking around the city. We went to the Museum of Sex and got called facials. It's like they're shot, but they're in dicks. And so you have to syringe them, and we like syringe them into our mouths. And then like we started talking about orgasms because the lady at the sex shop was telling us about these new suction devices that they have on all the new sex toys. And so she was showing us that. I'm like, oh, have you ever used one of these before? And she's like, no, but my friend has. And we started talking.
What an alley-oop.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, it was pretty great. And then we went to the back, did the facials, had these dick shots that were in the shape of dicks.
Yep.
And like there were syringes. And then I'm like, hey, let's take this to Shake Shack, suck up the shake, and then put it like shoot it into each other's mouths. And we did that. And then we went to
Sam was
in
not
public.
prepping for anything at all. He wasn't trying to suss out like, okay, let's see.
And, dude, and she was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And
Because
then
she was good at it?
she was great at it. She was good. I was better, but she was great. But then we went to like CVS, and I got her a balloon of her choosing.
Amazing.
But yeah, and then we went to, this was actually really cute. So the date was going well. And so I was kind of texting Cam, who he's been on the show. I was like, hey, it's going well. Like we might go back to yours because I'm staying at Cam's. And he's like, dude, do you want me to like set up the roof? And I'm like, yeah.
Not the roof.
And
No!
so we
The
go
roof
up,
returns.
we go up to the roof.
Oh no.
And he sets up a tablecloth on the table, a freaking candle,
You're joking.
a speaker,
Dude.
some like magazines, and 2 wine glasses.
Bro. Guys,
Dude, don't
round of
even
applause for
chat for
Cam. Like
Cam.
literally the homie of all homies.
Cam is the best.
Literally the
Cam
greatest.
is awesome.
Yeah.
And so yeah, to wrap things up, the roof was amazing.
Yeah. Did you jog, run, any type of
There was a suggestion to run on the roof. There was a suggestion, but I liked her a lot.
Yeah.
So I was like, I think we should like hold off.
Mm.
And so we did.
We got to walk before we run.
We got to walk before we run. Exactly. I don't want to move too fast. And then we went on a second date the next day, and then maybe I'll see her soon.
Guys, this is some prime time OK story times right here. Ladies and gentlemen, you got more for us in the later?
We had a lot of fun. It was a super fun date. I think like also competition in New York is like very low because everyone's a boring finance guy. And so if you're just like a little bit different, I think people really like that.
Dude, that's
Really?
crazy. That's what my buddy Kit said because he lived there for a while.
Yeah, dude.
Interesting. I always thought in New York, there's like all different kinds of, but probably, especially if you're in Manhattan. I'm sure
It
like
rises.
Manhattan
I think it rises. Like that's what rises to the top. Is like the boring finance guy. And so like if you're like a hella goofy golden retriever podcast host, kind of a win.
breaking
Funny.
through like
Kind
hot
of a
wax.
win. Kind of a win. Yeah. So it was
Give me a
really
good
fun.
title for this.
Oh, a title. I think like how I started, like the New York dating scene is so much crazier than the LA dating scene, and I'll tell you about my date there.
There we go. What about reverse catfished?
Oh, I got reverse catfished in New York when I went on a Hinge date, but it kind of went well.
Boom. We got him. All right. Are we ready to rip off this next story?
you're gonna use that so much.
Let's do it. Don't give me information I can use. All right. Hey, this is a pretty crazy story. You know what else is crazy? You. That's right. You have crazy stories, specifically, possibly, of the inheritance variety. We are doing a brand new game show all around inheritance. 4 people thought they were going to get the bag, and 1 actually did. So if you have a story of coming very close to inheritance, but not actually getting it, or you did actually get the bag, you were able to successfully get the inheritance, we want to hear your stories. Click the link below, fill out your story, and we will get back to you and hopefully see you on the show. My fiance blew up at me when I asked for a vacation after giving birth. He thinks I'm abandoning him.
Dude, just go on vacation. You deserve it. Leave the baby at the doorstep. Put it at a firehouse.
Teach him to fend for themselves.
Yeah, the Romans just left babies in the freaking wilderness. Do that.
And what are you doing? I, 29 female, recently had a mental breakdown over the weekend. I'm confused whether I was in the wrong or just being gaslit. So on Friday morning, after being told that my 38 male fiance didn't have money for rent, it sent me into a spiral. And this is very important because it not only comes from Midnight Blue 16, this is one of our very own in the community, coming from the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So yes,
Let's freaking go. Are they here with us? Are they in the room now?
let us know, Midnight Blue, if you are here because we want to talk to you. So we have been in a financial bind after he decided to get fired from his job because he didn't want to switch stores when his boss said that corporate notified him of the change. He did this 2 days after me giving birth to our son. Yes, I do have postpartum depression, which made everything so much worse. I can admit that it does make me irrational. I had been taking care of our kids, 3 daughters and our newborn son, and doing all of the cleaning, cooking, and managing the bills for the past month or 2 months, as well as having surgery 2 weeks ago that hinders me from picking something up over 20 pounds. I haven't really taken time to recover from the birth or my surgery. This woman is going through it. Postpartum depression, surgery, birth.
Yeah. I mean, if it's like surgery, there's definitely probably a tear, right? That's what probably happened.
Maybe.
Which,
yeah.
that's rough. Also, this girl that I went on a date with, she said she had a friend who, when was pregnant, had teeth fall out. Apparently, you can have a calcium deficiency or something. Is that crazy? I didn't know that.
That's wild.
I had no idea.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
I was on maternity leave for a month due to the fact that I work from home and I only took the day of my surgery off. So I got worn down pretty fast while my fiance gave me the bare minimum help. For context, my fiance doesn't feel comfortable changing diapers and the smell of poop that makes him close to vomiting. Back on Friday, I mentally couldn't take another month of trying to figure out how to pay the bills, asking to borrow money again, or thinking that someone will come take our kids because we can't pay rent. Dude, this woman is going through the gauntlet of fire right now, and her husband is
And
just on
alone.
the couch.
He's like, ew,
Alone.
stinky diaper. Like,
Dude.
yeah, what, dude, why have a kid if you don't realize that that's going to be a thing that you need to do?
I think that that's not what he was thinking at the time.
About poop?
About
Oh, you
Having
mean,
a kid.
oh, yeah. He was just,
he doesn't change the baby. He got fired from his job because he didn't want to change over. He's not helping around the house. What is he doing?
is this episode like the deadbeat boyfriend / husband episode?
Let's go. Deadbeat episode.
Deadbeat. Yeah.
What a theme. I sent a message to my fiance, mother, and sister that I feel like I need to be admitted to the hospital due to my mental state. I told them that I'm just tired and I can barely stay awake, and the stress of being a parent with postpartum depression and the financial strain has gotten to me, and I don't feel safe enough to continue.
Wait, Caitlin Van Camper says they also have 3 other children. So was he not changing the babies diapers for the 3 other children too? And you're like, let's have another one with this deadbeat Tumpy.
It almost seems like she's basically had the superwoman, supermom thing going on. And now that she's literally like had the surgery, had his postpartum depression, all these things, now she's finally can't pay for any of the bills, trying to pay for it herself.
Oh.
She's finally like cracking under all the pressure when she's been holding all of this on her shoulders to hold.
Oh.
That's what I'm seeing here.
Herculean effort right here.
My God. My fiance called me asking what is wrong and why would I do that on his first day of work. I just apologized and told him I couldn't control this and hung up the phone. He literally didn't even say like, oh my gosh, like what can I do? How can I help you? He's just like, why would you embarrass me like that, babe? Bruh!
Get a grip.
He texted me stating that he called his mother and told her to come over to the house to be with me. I sat and cried to his mother about the stress while on the phone with my own mom. Both my mom and his mother agreed that I should get away for the weekend and that they would watch the kids. Here's where it started to spiral more, in case it already wasn't insane enough and Opie didn't have enough pressure. My fiance comes home on his lunch to check on me and then proceeds to send in text, since his mother was still present, that he will leave soon so I can continue to badmouth him to his mother and mine. That I never accept his help when he offers and he is sick of me badmouthing him to other people and I should just leave since I'm so miserable.
I mean, he has a point. Like, you probably should just leave. He kind of sucks.
That one part right there.
I mean, he sucks and he's not adding anything. I mean, maybe we're judging too quick, but
yeah. He says that due to the fact at times I will reach out to a close friend or family to vent about a situation after me and him have spoken about it. It's usually just about what's going on at home, wondering what they think about it, or just to calm down and get it out of my system, even though me and my fiance have talked it through. I just told him I'm sorry and asked, do you want me to go? He said no, but he thinks that me leaving for the weekend to clear my head is just running away and abandoning him. He pleaded with me not to go.
you know why? Because he's thinking, oh, if she suddenly has the space to think about our relationship, she's going to leave.
She is not going to literally support everything, take care of all 4 of our children, take care of all of the bills so I can quit when I want and do what I want. Dude. Big freaking facts. Dude. I told him I need some space to think and clear my head, considering I was contemplating on whether I should hurt him or not due to the PPD. I was choosing to go so I don't hurt myself or anyone in the house because I felt crazy. He responded in, well, remember, I asked you not to go, and this will take a major blow to our relationship. As well as he sees this as me breaking up with him, and he will not tolerate another woman taking his kids without his say in the matter.
This is like a way to control the outcome, because it seems like they're moving towards breaking up, and he's doing everything he can to like try to control the situation and be like, no, like, you will not give yourself the space to make this decision.
And she's saying the whole time, like, look, all this stuff is happening. I'm stressed. I have postpartum depression. I'm probably not in the most rational state of mind. Meanwhile, he is just exactly what OP asked in the first sentence, gaslighting her. So for context, my fiance has 2 older girls that his ex-wife has custody of, and she is refusing to let him see them. I know he is also depressed at the moment since he hasn't seen them in months due to her flat out refusing, and Florida police will not help to enact the custody arrangement because it's a civil matter. By the way, does this man have 6 children?
How has he not been able to change one diaper?
Because he's too busy making babies.
That's true.
He's too busy making babies and getting fired from his job because
he's focusing on his area of expertise.
Exactly.
Right now,
yeah.
You know?
Listen, here's where my skills shine. Oh my God. So I told him we can talk later when emotions aren't high right now, because I wanted to be able to talk rationally and not say something irrational or him do the same. He told me to just F off and continue to blast my phone with hateful texts saying I probably never loved him and that he should have cheated or left earlier because he knew I would leave him. Bro!
I mean, is that not the line that solidifies that they should break up? I mean, we've already kind of talked about that.
Yes.
But
she is literally doing the most to make sure that she's not coming off attacking, is like, hey, let's like save this to where we can like really sit down and like dive into this.
But when you are just super insecure, like he's not being rational.
We've seen a lot of insecure and crazy people, but this guy is like, he's fighting for
he's in a league
top
of his
10
own. He's in a league of his own.
Out of 3,000,
Yeah.
3,000 stories. Olympic level gaslighting. I just sat pretty silently trying to hold myself together, not say anything to my mother that he was saying these things. I didn't want want him to complain about any more of me talking about our issues. I stayed at my mother's for one night and left the next and came home. By the way, you can come home to us every weekday at 3 p.m. PST and join us on our lives. Click the profile and we'll be here. We have some relevant comments, but we need to chat real quick before diving in. It seems like we're all pretty aligned on like leave. My question for you now, Sam, is how should she leave? Like, what are the steps?
The thing is, he's threatening to, it almost sounds like abduct the children if she leaves.
Yeah.
So I almost feel like she shouldn't go on this trip because of that threat. I feel like, because it's like, you need to think of the kids. So is it like, all right, give the kids to a family member?
The kids are being watched by both moms over the weekend. So both moms are at OP's in their house.
I think you maybe tell the moms like, hey, we're going to work out where our relationship is going and make sure that the husband doesn't take the kids away somewhere else and start figuring out divorce proceedings.
Yeah. Probably like just start searching for a divorce lawyer. I would say not only get like, okay, what's the technical legal stuff, but hopefully ask them advice on like, here's my situation.
That's a great point. I feel like the divorce lawyer will be able to ensure that there are ways to protect your children from bad behavior.
While also like, I imagine a divorce lawyer has probably seen like similar scenarios. It's like, legally, what do I do? And then have you seen scenarios before? It's like, how do I protect the children legally and like physically?
But I don't know if I would say that you're getting a divorce lawyer to your husband just because of how unpredictable he's been.
Agreed. Do it on the low.
Yeah. And do it ASAP.
Yeah. I mean, luckily now that the moms are watching the kids, I mean, unfortunately, she said she only stayed one night and is now coming back. I'd almost be like, go back for like literally one more day and just spend that day, obviously get a good night's sleep, and then just focus on finding a lawyer or like what good next steps could be.
Blind Bee says they're not married. All she needs to do is go to family court and file for custody. If they're not married, then I think it's fine.
Whoa.
Are they not married?
Fiance,
so not married yet.
Yeah, they're not legal. So probably in the eyes of the law, it's like binary. You're either married or you're not. Wow. He's the father of the children though. So I would imagine. I don't know. That's interesting.
But on the flip side, Mariah from Alaska says, my sister-in-law asked her husband for a divorce. He drained her bank account, stole the kids, fled the state, and called her job and got her fired. Never underestimate a salty man.
Yeah. I think just like probably like big picture, get as much like ammo as you can before you come to him to like make sure you'll be safe and protected and all that stuff.
Also, like just a quick reminder, it's one thing to solve it right here, right? You know, it's like we're trying to solve it.
Yes.
But the ideal thing is you look for character traits in partners that like they could never do something like this. One of my least favorite character traits in a partner or a friend is vindictiveness. And I think if you have someone who is vindictive or goes around, like just think about how someone treats their enemies is how they may treat you in the future. So just make sure that how they treat their enemies is good because you might be on the other side of it.
That might be all-time Sam Donner bars of advice.
Oh, thanks, dude.
We'd have to put that in the platinum.
There we go.
Platinum golden rules.
We upgraded, baby. But guys, we have relevant comments from the story as well. Let's dive into them. So Psycho Susie 70 says, he sounds like a narcissist, to be perfectly honest. He is using your mental illness as a weapon to beat you with while making it all about him. Any loving partner would be bending over backwards to help ease the burdens their sick partner is dealing with, not pile on top with all the stress with more stress and manipulation. He is gaslighting you too. I mean, how dare you go and leave him to go and have the space to think straight? And how dare you speak to other people to get a balanced viewpoint on things when you realize you may not be seeing things completely rationally? Go and do what you need to do for your own well-being. Get peace in your mind so that way you can look at everything in a more balanced perspective. And don't think that you wouldn't cope with your kids being on your own because you're already doing it on your own. That part.
True. Yeah.
Just because he's there doesn't mean he's helping you or supporting you. He is draining your soul at the moment. Yeah, if anything, he's like an anchor, maybe making it harder to like make the moves she needs to do. Take all the time you need to gain clarity so you can be a better mom for your kids. And that is the end. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I think it's great advice.
Great relevant comment.
Great relevant comment.
Very
and
relevant,
I think
great
again,
comment.
like try to get that divorce lawyer ASAP so you can get some advice
100%
on how to proceed.
But Sam, I think we should keep proceeding with this episode.
We got another story for you.
Let's do it.
I asked my girlfriend to help out around the house. She refused and made her maid do everything. My female 25 girlfriend, female 35, and I have been living together and getting married soon. The relationship has been beautiful, except for a few issues at hand. By the way, this comes from your anonymous hater on the r/OKstorytime subreddit. She cannot process without a servant. She has always had a maid at hand, and we'll call her Mary. When we moved in together, initially Mary did not come with her. Within just 15 days of moving in, girlfriend asked if she can call Mary because she is having trouble with everything. I couldn't understand what she needed help with since we already have house help who does most of the work ranging from cleaning, mopping, dishes, etc. Damn, they must be rich. Like a live-in maid almost, it seems like. Like they already have house help and then they're getting someone on top of it.
My guess, OP is like the sugar mama, deep in her career making bank, and then the younger girl came from a rich family.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm
I would
guessing.
if I was OP, I'd watch out for the point when they're like, "Hey, let's start waxing some stuff."
Great point. We got to strip it clean.
It was worth it. I couldn't understand what she needed help with, and I wasn't okay with someone living with us full time. I like my space and my comfort, and I did not want an extra person in my space all the time. I tried to help my girlfriend with everything as much as I could, but she still seemed uncomfortable. I need Mary. I feel like it needs to be more Butler-esque, like Marinald or
Reginald.
Reginald, but with an M because it says they start with M.
Reginald.
Reginald. So she then told me she still is having trouble doing things and is used to having Reginald around. So she wants her and that she will also help us managing the house. Reginald came in a combo deal with my girlfriend. I didn't mind much back then, except that I had to empty up my storage room to make space for Reginald.
Live-in. Wow.
Yeah, no, it is a live-in maid. This
It's
is no
still
joke.
not enough.
Still not enough. And they have other house help too. So it's like, wow. Anyway, she has had Reginald since she was 18. I quickly realized Reginald does a lot of stuff for her, which is okay. Reginald, wipe. Reginald, wax. Wax off. Now wax on, Reginald. Stick it back on.
Oh, God.
You know I love my butt toupee. Eventually, I realized how dependent my girlfriend is on Reginald, even for the most basic tasks. Tasks that could easily be done by any functioning human that would literally take seconds. Some tasks that Reginald did that bothered me were chopping vegetables before we begin cooking, changing bed sheets, holding her heavy bag when she went out, cleaning her shoes and gave them to her before she left the house, picked up her shoes and put them on the shoe rack when she got back, ironed her clothes, picked up her plates after eating, picks up coffee cups and water bottles she leaves all around the house, picks up clothes she throws around in the changing room, turning on the water heater before she took a shower, cleaned her work table, cleaned up spills she carelessly made, takes her pack of cigarettes to wherever she is, sitting in the house. This is rich people shit, but this is crazy.
Yeah.
All of this bothered me so much. It was like seeing a little toddler throwing tantrums and mother taking care of it without disciplining the child. This is how they've lived for years. So you've lived with Reginald for years. She pays Reginald well and takes care of her well-being, and they're really close too, like friends because she isn't very old. Eventually, I got used to it, except that my girlfriend dumped all household chores on Reginald and decided to not do anything at all. She never helps with any house job, and when I asked her to, she says, "I got you a maid, ask her, don't bother me." I get that her work is very demanding. She returns home almost exhausted every day. I pamper her as much as I can because I work half the hours she does. I always get a lot of extra time. I enjoy hobbies and go out with friends. She doesn't get the time to do all of that all week, so she tries to make up for it on weekends. She spends the weekends enjoying her hobbies. We go out. She'll go drinking with her friends. If ever I try to get her to do any household chores, she tells me to tell M to do it. So, all right, wait, really quick. So some people are saying they need to leave, but I'm going to devil's advocate for a second, right?
I'll devil's advocate with you. I know exactly what you're going to say.
So John and I, we're in a relationship together.
Oh, yeah, dude.
John, deep. John's waxing all of my
all of his orifices.
Like maybe you're working less than I am. I'm coming home super late.
Mm-hmm.
We get a maid for the house, live-in maid. I don't know if you would be saying like if we have a maid, why would you not just tell any chore that needs to be done to the maid that we're paying full time to do those kinds of things?
Yeah. Yeah, like we've seen this scenario a lot of like someone doesn't help around the house, and we're like, hey, if you have the means, wouldn't you want to like hire someone to help clean so you can spend more time with your partner, like if you actually like them?
What it sounds like is OP wants. Well, I guess like why does OP want her girlfriend to do the chores instead of Reginald?
I'm not sure. I don't know if it's a like, hey, you're kind of like losing touch with like for instance, like spilling something and walking away or something.
Right.
Like,
You're losing touch with
negligent.
Yes.
Or whatever.
Yeah. So maybe it's like, hey, you had a spill. Like I think what it sounds like is it's getting to the point where it's a lot of carelessness.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's necessarily like, maybe it's not necessarily chores. Maybe it's like, hey, you're like spilling everywhere.
Yeah, which honestly, it is unclear to me too. Like, I don't know exactly what the angle is, but
Lisa P says, why does girlfriend have to do chores exactly? I don't know if she does. Does she have to do chores?
yeah, it seems unclear. I don't know if OP's doing chores. Like, if they're able, it very much seems like they can pass on all of the like household work to their freaking Navy SEALs 6 team of house aid and maintenance. So like, there's probably not an imbalance issue of like OP doing a bunch of stuff and her not.
Well, I think so. John is 200 said not to do the chores. They're saying, but relying on someone else and not being able to even take care of themselves and expecting others to clean up their messes.
Yeah.
I mean, I do get that. But I think also if like someone is like working as demanding a job as OP's girlfriend seems to be working, maybe it's like they literally do not have the time, and it would be a problem if they didn't have this help, but they're like, I'm just trying to offload everything that I don't care about to this other person.
Maybe this is also being unsaid, but maybe she's like treating the other people poorly.
It says that she's treating Reginald well.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I totally see what you're saying, and I think I kind of agree of like, if we have a whole team of people that can help and can't afford it, is there anything necessarily wrong with that? I don't know.
I think it's, if we had a live-in maid, I don't think I would ask you to like if there's dishes in the sink.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be saying like, oh, like do the dishes. We would have the live-in maid do it. Right?
I think yes.
If I persist, she'll make up something and leave the house and go play games at her friend's house. I have tried to explain to her that some basic tasks need to be done by oneself. And this house is ours, and it's our responsibility, not M's. I have told her I would like her to be involved in the house more, but I do not think she even wants to do that. It's like she has made up her mind that she can afford a maid and she didn't have to do any basic tasks. I've also raised my concerns on what if Reginald leaves us one day, to which her reply is, she will never leave.
That's a little ominous.
Never!
Jeez.
She refuses to change these bratty habits. How do I deal with this? How do I get her to not be extremely dependent on her maid? TLDR, girlfriend is dependent on the maid, even for the most basic tasks, and it's frustrating to me.
Okay, I just saw the keyword bratty.
Yeah, so I think it's less like she's not folding the clothes and doing the dishes, and more like even before Reginald gets to it, it's like she's leaving spills everywhere, and it's just like a trail of breadcrumbs.
Like it's spilling into her personality, and she's kind of has this, maybe it's like a kind of like a obnoxious, entitled kind of like personality, and OP's like, hey, maybe if she finally like takes responsibility for stuff around the house, she'll stop like behaving this way. Because I think I'm like, if Reginald can take care of everything and they've communicated that and Reginald is on board and is happy, I think that's okay. But
I think honestly, maybe this is an unpopular opinion. I think the situation as is, where Reginald is taking care of everything.
Yes.
And it doesn't affect OP too much. And all household chores are taken by Reginald. You don't need to be asking OP to do anything. Just ask Reginald to do it because she's taking care of it all. If it gets to the point where even Reginald cannot take care of the hurricane of mess that OP's girlfriend is creating, then that's where it becomes a problem.
I think I agree. And also, one could argue, if I'm grabbing the devil's advocate and diving into hell, OP is focusing on the wrong issue. If it is truly about her attitude, which is an assumption I'm making, then like talk to her about that and how like, I don't know, maybe that is just like, I don't know, not enjoyable to be around, or whatever negative emotions you feel from it, instead of like masquerading as if it's like, oh, you're just like not like cleaning up for yourself. I don't know. I feel like it's,
I want to get to the bottom of like, why does OP want their girlfriend to clean up after themselves.
Yeah. If everything is, she's like, oh, well, you have to have respect for the house. I'm like,
but that's like OP is having respect for, or OP's girlfriend is having respect for the house by getting a maid.
yeah, and
saying
making,
like
Making
she's not
sure
just
so.
leaving the mess.
Yeah,
you know?
and it does seem like she has at least created an understanding with Reginald. Like Reginald is doing the job. OP is seeing that. So if Reginald is doing the job, then
what's the problem?
What are we doing?
I think it's like the last thing I'll say on this is it might be that, you know, like when two people are like want to eat food and one person really likes to cook and the other person wants to like order out, and the person who loves to cook is like, why don't you cook with me? And it's like, well, why would I cook when I could just order out? And the person who's cooking is like, well, like, don't you get joy from like putting the meal together and like seeing it there and like knowing that you made this? And like I think it's OP seeing the home as something that you make in a similar way.
Exactly. They need to address their differences and expectations.
Yeah, but I don't necessarily think there is anything wrong. I don't think OP's girlfriend is doing anything actually super wrong, as long as Reginald is doing it. It's a difference in values.
We'll
as
see,
Burpee says.
but maybe there's no way hills.
There's a little bit more to the story.
Oh.
There's an edit. So I see the concern over the maid's age as child exploitation. I can assure you, having maids in Southeast Asia is pretty common. Everyone has them. My girlfriend met Reginald when she returned back home from her hostel. Reginald's mom works with my girlfriend's family. This isn't how they met. When Reginald was young, she wasn't the maid. They get along well. Girlfriend's parents took care of Reginald's education, and later girlfriend takes care of Reginald and vice versa. Girlfriend takes care of Reginald's well-being, takes care of her when she is sick, her investments, food, clothing, etc. Basically whatever is required. Because this worked well, when my girlfriend was moving away from home, it was decided by both families, girlfriend and Reginald's, that Reginald will go with her. Reginald is treated with the utmost respect here, and they are more like friends because they have grown up together and they've somehow bonded and love each other. Also by she will never leave, it doesn't mean she cannot leave, but that they love and respect each other, and Reginald wouldn't abandon her, and practically there's no way Reginald could afford the life she has right now. She basically gets everything, and all the money she earns gets invested, zero expenses, and she gets to see her parents whenever girlfriend goes to see her parents. I can assure you there is no exploitation. My problem is just the dependence. It's like her to be more involved in the house. It's our house. I want her to go grocery shopping with me, know where things are kept in the house, understand how the kitchen works, help in cooking. Just be more involved and present, not just go ask Reginald to do it. And there is another edit. By the way, you can join us live on YouTube every weekday, 3 p.m. PST. Just tap our profile. Edit 2. Some comments here took me back to an incident. Girlfriend, while having a random chat with Reginald, told her lovingly, of course you'll be the one taking care of my kids. This took me back, like it was just assumed that Reginald would be the nanny. I told my girlfriend we should be the ones taking care of the kids. They're our kids. She just brushed it off and said, yeah, we will, but we will need help. Who better than Reginald? Makes me wonder how involved she's going to be with the kids. I certainly do not want to raise a child with a maid. You are in a poly relationship at this point, and you have to just accept that.
Well, here's the thing. Are we ready? Children can feel neglect and trauma, etc. Houses cannot.
That is true. That is true. But
Platinum.
I think
Platinum.
Platinum rule.
Got him.
Platinum rule. I think there's nothing terrible going on here except just a difference in values. And
Yes, and
different in expectations and a different in
Totally.
lifestyle. I think OP is not accepting that this is just kind of how this person has been since 18. So get with the program or realize this is not like your partner. And I don't think OP's girlfriend is really doing anything wrong, honestly. This
Fight
is
me, eviscerate me. OP is the a-hole.
I think OP may be the a-hole.
Because she is taking her expectations and like really pushing them onto OP.
Yeah.
And it seems like Reginald's well taken care of. The house seems well taken care of. Like now the child, a completely different story because a child can, feel neglect and all of those other things.
Yes. Yeah.